Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, guys, hey, barn burner of a boxing night. Um, great night of boxing. That's what we want. Just good fights, fair judging, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's no controversy out there. Uh, you know, even though the Ortiz versus my man who Ortiz fought, forget his name, excuse me, because it was a real one of those like what they call Mexican style type fights, and I'm not doing justice by not knowing my man's name. He deserves a rematch. That's the only fight where you could have been like, ooh, you know, maybe a small bit of controversy there, but at that point, my man. What's his name? Pitbull Cruz is like, he's a little bit more of the A side in that fight. And so, he's got the nod in a barn burner of a fight where both of them guys hurt each other and kept coming forward. But I'm just gonna go fast forward to the main event because in that it was some significance in that fight. I told you guys I didn't really care who won the fight, but when I'm indifferent, I've been saying this for years. When I'm indifferent, I will lean towards the underdog when I'm indifferent. So I kind of was, while the fight was going on, I noticed that I was more for Morrell than Benavidez, even though I'm a Benavidez fan. Because, it's just like, well, Morrell is being, underestimated here. These guys put on a fight, and you can just see that both of them have total belief in their abilities. You know what I mean? Total belief, both of them. And these guys have just proven that they're all that. Both of them. Both of them. With David Morrell, when you're looking at that fight, and I'm kind of embarrassed to even say how I was scoring the fight, but I will say this: I saw no separation in the first 5 rounds. None. I was kept giving the rounds even because you would see it was a back and forth, right? It was just back and forth. You'll see Benavidez doing some good shots, combinations, pulling his glove down, going around with the right hand, right hook, and you see the Morrell blocking, moving, countering on a high level, and even hurting Benavidez in round 4. And even though he hurt Benavidez in round 4, I still gave that round a draw. I didn't start seeing separation until round 6. I thought Benavidez won that. 7, 8, and 9 were very, very close rounds. I gave Morrell a couple of those. So my scorecard we're going to leave out because I'm not going to say, I just think one scorecard was too wide for me. It was way too wide. Morrell was in that fight. But you would have to probably give Benavidez the fight. You say he kind of controlled the fight. You couldn't go out of there and say Morrell won that fight, even though Morrell had him hurt on several occasions. But I think Benavidez might have had Morrell hurt on one occasion at least. But he was definitely landed the most punches, according to the copy box numbers. So the winner is cool. But that fight deserves a rematch. Definitely a rematch. That's how good Morrell was in this fight. And he believed in his skills until the end. Now, not an immediate rematch. Right? I'm not saying that because, Benavidez got to go ahead and do some other stuff. You know what I mean? Morrell comes back, rehabilitate one fight, and then gets right into with the top of the echelon of the sport, right? And does his stuff, handle his business. He's there. But when it comes to Benavidez, right? Benavidez, in my opinion, has bust down the door in the top 10 pound for pound fighters. He's bust down the door. He didn't back in. He bust down the damn door. There is not 10 fighters that are better than David Benavidez in boxing right now. I don't see it. Right? Now, I'm probably sliding some. Maybe I'm not thinking before I'm speaking. But I don't see 10 fighters that are better than him because one of them is Canelo Alvarez, and he's in the top 10. He goes in front of Canelo Alvarez in my pound for pound. Now, he doesn't bust the top 5, but he's 6 on my pound for pound list right now. He goes straight up to 6, and I'm going to tell you guys why, right? I don't want to kind of miss something. The fight, a lot of people have told you about it. I'm pretty sure you watched it, so you don't really need my review of the fight. It was a damn good fight. It's one of those fights that you can watch again, and you'll probably see some things, and you'll probably be like, oh, that was a closer round than you think. It was an awesome fight, which we're going to rewatch again. I might come back and say some things about that. Let's talk about the repercussion, the ramifications. Benavidez is a top 10 fighter, period, pound for pound, right now. And the reason why I put him at 6 and not in the top 5 is because the top 3 you're not cracking. All right? Top 3 you're not cracking because those guys in the top 3 have established themselves as top 3. And the reason being, they've in multiple divisions. They fought people smaller, the same size, and bigger than them. Right? Those guys. The Usyks, the Inuis, and the Terrence Crawfords of the world. Those top 3, and you can argue who's where. I got Terrence Crawford number 1, Usyk 1B. But, matter of fact, you could put Usyk number 1 and Terrence Crawford 1B because Crawford is not as active as Usyk. There's an argument for those two. Inouye's 3. I just don't think his competition down there is that awesome, right? But he's the best. So, damn it, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? They can't, say, well, the competition's not this and it's not that. They try to do that with Terrence Crawford, too. I beat everybody in 3 weight divisions. Because there ain't nobody there, it's not my problem. If y'all calling everybody whack. You know what I mean? If you're going to call everybody in the 35-pound division, which is the glamour division, the lightweight division, whack, then that's your thing. The junior welterweight division, everybody was whack, then that's your thing. Welterweight division, which is another glamour division, everybody beat there. And everybody's nothing on my resume, that's y'all fault. And boxing just don't have enough. But those divisions, there's enough people there. It's not like the minimum weights and the straw weights and all that stuff, mini feather and all that stuff. Those divisions where Crawford is. So I don't, people that are doing that are doing it for different reasons. But those people are stuck in top 3. Now 4 and 5 is Benavidez and Bivol, period. Benavidez and Bivol. Bam Bam Rodriguez and them, got a little time. I'm putting Benavidez in front of that. I'm putting Benavidez in front of Canelo. Putting Benavidez in front of Haney right now. Right now. Because Haney still belongs up there. You got to remember, he's undisputed. He was undefeated, undisputed. Okay? And somebody had to dope and cheat and not miss weight to even beat him. And that was still a close fight. You see what I'm saying? I think it was a split decision, even though somebody came in overweight and was doped to the gills. So that guy's still in my top 10. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to put Benavidez in front of him. Benavidez number 6. And here's why, another reason. Benavidez has had distance in all of his fights. Benavidez hasn't been in a controversial fight, has he? You know what I'm saying? Morrell was probably the closest one. Benavidez has put distance between him and his opponents, right? Now, most of the career so far, he's been bigger than the guys, right? He's been bigger than the guys. But Wojcik, who people just act like they don't know how good Wojcik is. Now, Wojcik was a little inactive, but Wojcik is a top-notch athlete. And Benavidez beat this guy without controversy, and he wasn't healthy. That is an awesome performance to me. Everybody sees it different. I don't, because I know what Wojcik was. I had Wojcik top 2 in the 170-pound division before he lost to Benavidez. I had him in front of Bivol. Was that right by doing that? At the time, yes, because Wojcik, go back and look what Wojcik did. Right? And then you'll be like, oh, yeah. And by the way, Ukraine bring the pain, damn it. That's another reason. He's Ukrainian. So for Benavidez to go up there in the 175 and handle that business, now beat Morrell, who is also his size, then we can't go with the size thing. Beating extremely awesome fighters in Morrell, Wojcik, and Demetrius Andrade. Yes, he was bigger than Demetrius Andrade, but Andrade is so awesome that, you still thought Andrade can do something before that fight. I did. Andrade is one of the best fighters in the whole damn world. He just is not that active because everybody avoided him. They're not avoiding him for nothing. Here's the point. when you're talking about people who's not this and not that. When you have a title, right, and you're whack, people come get it. These guys has had a title. He's a 2 division champion. And no one come and get it. Canelo didn't want to come get his title when he was his mandatory at 154. He didn't want to go get his title when he had only his title to get to become undisputed at 160, a glamour division. There's reasons for that, right? And he could have got all the money in the world to fight Andrade. There's reasons why these fights are not happening. It's not Andrade. Everybody always come with this stuff, like back in the day, other side of the street, which was bogus, or Andrade made too many business decisions that weren't right. That's all bogus, man. If he was whacked, they would have came and got him. What kind of business decision we're talking about? If you go sign for the zone because Canelo Alvarez is there and you're trying to fight him, Gennady Golovkin is there and you're trying to fight him, and Jaime Munguia is there who's your mandatory who won't fight you, and you go there so they can't say other side of the street, that's a bad business decision? You just didn't know that DAZN didn't have a damn spine to put these people on blast and tell the whole world, we signed Demetrius Andrade and all 3 of these busters won't fight him. Right? If that was the other way around, they would have said, no, man, Demetrius Andrade ain't trying to fight none of these people. He was there screaming and begging. And after Demetrius Andrade fights, what did DAZN do? Do you guys remember? Hey, the best fight out there is Demetrius Andrade versus Jamal Charlo. And Jamal Charlo was on the other side of the street. They didn't say Canelo Alvarez on the same side of the street. They didn't say Jaime Munguia, who was his mandatory. And they didn't say Gennady Golovkin, who was on the same damn side of the street. So, miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even come with that. That's what they do in daylight. That's why the daylight is so shiny. That's why I always got these on. So I don't, it blinds a brother. Those are the things that are happening. So he was avoided. Your boy Benavidez beat him, and beat him convincingly. And that's not easily done. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger, but that's not easily done. He beat Cattle Plant pretty convincingly, even though Cattle Plant was winning. Well, a few people are going to be winning. David Benavidez is all that, guys. Yeah, he's a come-forward type of guy, right? His defense is underestimated. I think you guys better recognize how good his defense is now, because David Morrell is exceptional. Exceptional and very sneaky and very powerful. And he hurt Benavidez a couple of times. Benavidez gets hurt, recovers, and comes forward, throwing combinations. He has no issue with letting his hands go. And let me tell you something. He goes to the body. And those fighters that go left and right and go down, bending down to come up with an overhand left, right? You're going to get hit with a left hook down there because he's going to the body anyway. So he's going to either hit you in your head or in your body. So he throws it. He lets that left hook go to the body. And if your head's down there because you're bending down, you're going to get that too. He's letting these hands go. He's very, very quick, deceptively quick. I mean, for those who are not paying attention, because it's not deceptively to me. The dude is really, really damn good. He's really good. And he's more mobile than we think. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying by mobile is, like David Morrell says something that he says something that I thought I was the only one that says that, because I do that when I'm training basketball people too. A lot of people can't dance, which means you have more problems in the coordination area with these people. You got to teach them things because it's not a natural rhythm, right? And Morrell was like, David Benavidez, he can't dance, which means he can't move or whatever. I think David Benavidez is probably not a good dancer, but I think he can dance a little. I think he's more rhythmic and has more coordination than people believe. I don't think he's a good dancer like Morrell would be, but he was just, I think he's better than what Morrell would think, or what we would think. He's not as stiff as he's playing. His point is, this is how I make sure I win fights with distance. We will see when he gets up there and cruiserweight and he messes with a Obitaya or something, or, one day in heavyweight where he's definitely not the bigger guy, you'll start seeing some of those other talents. Like we didn't see Errol Spence do other stuff either, did we? Because he was bigger than everybody, and it's like I'm walking people down, looks cool. You get up there with them bigger people who you ain't walking down no more, then those other skills that you do have that people in sparring see and that your team knows about, they have to come out then. But if you're the bigger guy, you're going to walk them down. That's what Benavidez has been doing, but he's still able to do this. with these guys. So, yeah, Benavidez, as far as I'm concerned, that was very impressive because David Morrell is all that in a bag of chips. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the top. He's lurking. I'd put him in the top 20 pound for pound. Top 20, top 25. You know, you can't put him there after a loss, but it's not, I don't see 25 fighters better than David Morrell either. You know what I mean? Let's be real. So these guys showed how good they are and why Canelo won't go anywhere near them, right? And Benavidez is going to be in the fight with a Bivol or a Beterbiev. He's going to be in the fight. Now, we'll get to it then because I don't want to never slight Bivol because I didn't think Bivol, after beating Canelo Alvarez, I didn't think he would be able to go up there and dominate a Gilberto Ramirez either. That was impressive. Let's not ever forget that. So, yeah, David Benavidez for me busts through the door in the top 10 pound for pound all the way up to number 6. What y'all think? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about to here, y'all.